Previously at GRIDLIFE Track Battle Round 1. A heated race weekend in Mid-Ohio saw the epic clash between a front-wheel drive import and a rear-wheel drive domestic. James Houghton, one of the top front-wheel drive contenders, dominated the first day of competition, but his lead was cut short Sunday by the arrival of Brian Fessler, an Ohio local. On his home turf, Fessler ended the weekend with the new personal best time. Houghton would have to settle for second place. This is Gingerman Raceway, a private track located in southwest Michigan. Every year, hundreds of cars and thousands of spectators descend on the racetrack for the GRIDLIFE Midwest Festival, where this round of track battle is one of the largest time attack events in North America. As round 2 of the GRIDLIFE track battle season, Gingerman will remind this season's competitors that they're playing for keeps. Placing well and setting class records at each event will mean points, and the drivers with the most points at the end of the season will win not only a spot on the podium and bragging rights, but a free trip to the Bondurant Racing School, where world-renowned driving coaches will help this season's winners hone their craft behind the wheel. The chase for the Bondurant Cup has begun, and as his performance at Mid-Ohio showed, James Houghton is gunning for top prize this season.
Hi, my name is James Houghton. I drive the K-tuned Acura Integra Type R in unlimited front-wheel drive. In the fall, we were here in October, and we set the lap record, but we'll be looking to go even faster tomorrow.
At last year's GRIDLIFE special stage event, Houghton set the lap record for a front-wheel drive car at Gingerman Raceway in his Integra. He'll look to beat his own time this weekend, but he may not be the only one setting records.
Hi, I'm Will L. Young. I'm here with the vibrant Time Attack Civic.
Will L. Young, Houghton's unlimited front-wheel drive rival, has arrived at Gingerman with his vibrant Honda Civic. Only a month prior, Houghton and Al Young battled in Global Time Attack at Road Atlanta. Though they both broke the all-time front-wheel drive record for that track, Al Young ultimately came out on top.
He got me there. That was he did a great job, and we had some issues. We just didn't have quite enough for Will that day, so we'll be trying to really bring it at this event.
Oh, our main competition is James Houghton in his Integra Type R. We've had a pretty serious rivalry for the past few years. The truth is, at any given weekend, I think one of us has a chance to win, which makes it really exciting as a competitor and pretty nerve-wracking also as a competitor, where you know that you can't just ease off because one of us is going to take that win.
All Young won't be Houghton's only competition this weekend, however. Large festival events like GRIDLIFE Midwest bring out some of the fastest unlimited cars the class has to offer, and this weekend is no exception.
Andy Smedegard with the GRIDLIFE Evo, he'll be going very quick as well, and Robert Thorne in the Big Bad Wolf S2000, he's very fast as well. There's quite a few guys here that'll be really interesting to see how the lap times go tomorrow.
The unlimited class is shaping up to be an extremely fast and competitive group this weekend, but GRIDLIFE Time Attack isn't just for cars with huge mods and huge money in them. Corey Claxton, a Michigan local and track battle regular, has come to compete in the HPDE Plus class.
My name's Corey Claxton. I drive a 2008 350Z, and I'm racing in HPDE Plus rear-wheel drive.
Corey will be driving the very accessible HPDE Plus category of time attack, where cars with limited modifications can shine.
I started racing almost 2 years ago with autocross. About a year and a half ago, I started with my first beginner session here at GRIDLIFE at round 3, and the next year I started doing time attack. My best time last year was a 1:44.3, so if I can break into the 43s this year, I'll be happy.
As Corey prepares for the many competitors he'll face tomorrow during practice, another driver already has his eyes on the prize of the Street Mod class.
My name's Andrew Mishra. I'm driving the Speed Freaks S2000 in Street Modified class. I'm aiming for a full season championship overall in Street Mod.
Andrew will face close competition from Matt DeRuse, a Street Mod competitor he faced earlier this season at Mid-Ohio. There, DeRuse took second place, bumping Andrew from the podium.
I'm Matt DeRuse. I drive a 2003 BMW M3 in the street modified rear-wheel drive class. Definitely grown accustomed to laps here at Gingerman. I'd say it's like a home away from home. Just like getting right back on a bike. You don't forget it. A couple laps out and you're right back to it.
The second place finish at Mid-Ohio hasn't gone to DeRuse's head though, as he remains wary of his competition.
Obviously Andrew Mishra with the supercharged S2000. Eric Nauman, he's done a lot of work to his car, so it'll be a bit for him to get used to it and pick up the pace.
When we last saw Eric Nauman, he was finishing a disappointing weekend at Mid-Ohio, just missing the podium. He hopes the recent adjustments to his Mustang will allow him to stay more competitive this weekend. There are many more drivers to meet this GRIDLIFE weekend, but as the sun has begun to set this Thursday afternoon, it'll have to wait till tomorrow, when drivers bring their cars out for the first laps of the season on Gingerman Raceway. It's Friday morning. Today, Time Attack competitors will get their feet wet for the first time this weekend, feeling out the track and their cars, making adjustments, and ultimately determining their place on the grid for the rest of the weekend. James Houghton, Will Alyong, and the rest of the Unlimited class competitors will run in Group A. This first heat will be a qualifying run, but times will not be counted toward competition. They'll only determine where drivers will place in grid. Unlimited class cars head out to track and begin their warm-up lap. Houghton and Alyong lead with their front-wheel drive Hondas, followed by Brian Fessler in his Mustang, which dominated at Mid-Ohio, and finally Robert Thorne in his Big Bad Wolf Honda S2000. As they round the last corner of Gingerman, the drivers open up the throttle, rocketing across the start line to begin their flying laps. The plan is to lay down a fast time in pit, securing a good spot on the grid without breaking anything. Alyong lays down a 130.338, besting Houghton's lap record of 131 from last year. That lead won't stand though. In the same heat, Houghton completes a 129.850, eclipsing Alyong's time and taking first in qualifying.
Just went out for our first session today so far, and the previous front-wheel drive record was 130.1 that I set last fall at the special stage event here at Gingerman Raceway, and we just did a 129.8 on our first lap today, so we're pretty pumped.
Still ended up setting a personal best on that session, so I'm very, very excited to see what we can get out of the car.
It's no surprise that Alyong and Houghton, a pair of seasoned Time Attack drivers, put down the fastest times this morning, but the competition is close behind. Andy Smedegaard, driver of the GRIDLIFE RS Motors Evo, put down a 131.4 in practice. That's just a second off of Alyong's qualifying time.
Hi, I'm Andy Smedegaard. I am driving the 365 Racing RS Motors Evo, and we are competing in the Unlimited all-wheel drive class. Time Attack is more of a, all-out, one lap, as fast as you can, loose ruling compared to a lot of your spec races. So I don't know, it kind of attracted me to Time Attack. GRIDLIFE, every year we've just been coming back, and GRIDLIFE is kind of something we believe in. And that's kind of why we kind of cross-promote really well with GRIDLIFE. So this weekend, our goal is to, almost set the fastest lap. But we're hoping, to try to catch all the, the top guys, James and Will. And I think that track record is a 28 or 29, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna, get faster this year. So we're hoping we can be right up there.
Meanwhile, Eric Nauman has gained the upper hand against Matt DeRuz and Andrew Mishra in qualifying, laying down a 142.5 flat. Good for second overall in street modified rear-wheel drive. Mishra would fail to make anything happen in qualifying after an off-track excursion killed his session.
Had an off during qualifying, so it kind of scrubbed that whole session. For the next qualifying, I'm going to have to run through quite a bit of traffic, hopefully get down into 38s, hopefully to get me in a better position to start tomorrow.
Things don't fare much better for Corey Claxton, whose seasoned tires have lost most of their grip and leave him skating around the track.
Qualified top of class in HB Plus rear-wheel drive. After second heat, just could tell the old tires weren't holding up how I wanted, and I'm trying to flip tires and get as much life out of them for the rest of the weekend, and I'll come back out tomorrow and see what I can do.
As the competitors approach the last heat of the day and the first real heat of the weekend, the pressure is on for Will Alyong to push hard and steal back James Houghton's early lead.
Many other sports out there, you're really happy with doing well. In Time Attack, no, we're out there to chase the record. It's really like that. You set a record, you break the record, you're the man. Everything else is, you just weren't good enough that weekend. You better get back and do your homework and come back stronger so you can come back and claim that record.
2 p.m. rolls around and Group A hits the track again, with Houghton at the front of the pack. Will Alyong gives him a generous lead to allow as much space as possible for a fast run. Houghton performs as expected, coming away with a 130.4, officially breaking his 2016 lap record. But it's not enough to fend off Alyong, who crosses the finish line with a blistering 129.4, a full second faster than Houghton crushing the lap record for a front-wheel drive car at Gingerman Raceway. But Friday didn't end as well for all the competitors.
My name's Eric Nauman. I'm here at Gingerman Raceway. I'm running a 2015 Mustang GT in street mod. Here just having a good time, except for about 10 minutes ago when the trans blew up. Basically went out third session, made it about 2 laps around the track, and went to press the clutch in, and it didn't come back out. And now there's a hole in the trans. So I'm most likely going to try to go home, pick up another transmission, and try to get it ready and to go for tomorrow morning. Possibly, hopefully, if I can find a slave cylinder.
As the first day of competition draws to a close, most Grid Life attendees prepare to party. But that won't be the case for many of our competitors. James Houghton and his team work late into the night to modify the transmission of their Integra, looking for the speed they'll need to hunt down Will Allyoung tomorrow. Eric Nauman doesn't have long to find a slave cylinder before tomorrow, when his competition will slip further away. And Corey Claxton must decide if he'll continue to run his used-up tires all weekend or look for a competitive alternative. For the drivers who can compete, Saturday morning promises cool temperatures and fast times. The weekend is only getting started. The weekend has arrived, and it appears that James Houghton has had some luck with his transmission. As he pulls into grid behind Will Allyoung, he's followed by his fellow Unlimited class competitors, Robert Thorne, Andy Smedegaard, and Brian Fessler. They were all extremely close in qualifying, and this morning, it's anyone's race to win. The only thing to be sure of, records will be broken. As the cars set out, Allyoung is the first to begin his flying lap. His record time yesterday was set around 2 p.m., one of the hottest points of the day. With the track cooler this morning, conditions will be optimal for him to break that record again. And break it, he does. On his second flying lap, Allyoung smashes his own record before retiring to the pits. Last year, Houghton's time of 1:31 was a powerhouse. This year, Allyoung is 3 seconds faster. But he's not the only one to break Houghton's old record. Andy Smedegaard, Robert Thorne, and Brian Fessler all break the 1:31 barrier, with Smedegaard only 3/10 off of Allyoung's fastest time. Fastest of them all, though, is James Houghton himself. On his first flying lap, Houghton crushes the overall record for any production-based vehicle with a scorching 1:27.8. That's almost 4 seconds faster than his time here last year.
Morning is good. Morning is really good. That track had so much more grip this morning than it did yesterday's second session when we last went out. It's really good to get your mind in the game when you're like, I'm going to have more grip because I have fresh tires, and I'm going to have more grip because the track's better. So you can just drive the wheels off the car, and it's there for you.
We ended up with a 1 minute 28.4, which was good for a new front-wheel drive record for about a few seconds.
You can go ask him. These cars wouldn't be like these cars if it wasn't for us trying to beat each other every week, every event, every month, whatever. That is what forces you to do this.
You don't know what to expect, and I think to say that we got into the 28s already, it's quite honestly quite awesome.
I thought my 31.6 was a really good lap last year. We just went 4 seconds faster than that. But because you know that the other person is always at you, and I fully expect him to go even faster. We're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna probably have to go out and try to go even faster yet.
When we went to Atlanta, we had a number of fellow competitors. They're like, we're not gonna even come out. It's the Will and James show.
This track battle weekend sees another fast Honda thrown into the mix. This one in the form of Chris Boersma.
My name is Chris Boersma. I'm from Toronto, Canada. We run in the track mod front wheel drive category with our 1999 Honda Civic. I've owned the car since 1999. We used to do drag racing. We got a little bit bored with that and decided to come into time attack, and so my dad and I have been doing that ever since. So my goals for this weekend, we got the track mod front wheel drive record last year. We did a 1:35.8. My goal this year is to go faster than we did last year. Maybe get into the low 30s this year. See how things go. Fingers crossed.
Chris's time of 1:35.5 was indeed fast enough to beat his time from last year, and he's currently leading track mod overall, followed closely by his rival, Tony Fuentes, piloting a BMW 1 Series. Though Unlimited Class and Track Mod have seen huge improvements in their times this morning, thanks in no small part to their modifications last night, Eric Nauman of Street Mod wasn't so lucky.
I literally tried everything in my power to try to get this thing back together. Nobody had anything sitting on the shelf or on the floor. It really didn't matter where it came from as long as it was good, but Napa doesn't have anything. The car's too new. That's the kind of killer on having a new car and trying to track it at the same time. The parts are kind of hard to come by, so.
Though Eric won't be able to lap anymore this weekend, that doesn't mean he won't compete, because his time from yesterday's first heat puts him second place for Street Mod rear-wheel drive behind Andrew Mishra.
Hopefully I stay within 5th place, try to keep my points, try to stay there basically, so.
Group B hits the track, and class leader Andrew Mishra wastes no time achieving a lightning-quick 1:39, just 2 seconds faster than his best time Friday. Matt DeRuse follows suit with his fastest time, knocking Nauman into 3rd place in Street Mod.
Got down to a 39.2, which is good for 1st in Street Rear-Wheel Drive, 2nd overall in Street Modified. I'm right behind Graham. He's 1st overall in Street Modified. He's got a blue Subaru WRX, really fast car, fast driver, well built. I got a lot more time left in the car. But it's not going to happen until tomorrow morning. I think I need the cooler temperatures.
While the Unlimited and Street Mod classes trade spots in a close race for 1st, Corey Claxton is just happy to have grip again.
So, first session of the day, went out, had the old tires still, the old 275s that I had from last year, and I was just doing more drifting than grip, so bought a set of 285s from someone at the track today, and they're used, but they're better, so let's hope for better times today.
With his fresher set of rubber, Corey is able to shave full seconds off of his lap times, making him much more competitive in HPDE+. Back in Unlimited class, Will Allyoung prepares to hit the track for his final run of the day. On his second run today, Allyoung was able to shave a couple more tenths off of his time, edging closer to Houghton's record. Tomorrow morning will offer the best conditions for victory, but Will isn't giving up an opportunity to go faster. Unfortunately, Eric Nauman won't be the only one to experience a transmission failure this weekend. Before he can put down a time, the sequential transmission in Will's Honda gives out. This will be his first significant mechanical difficulty of the weekend.
So we went out on our out lap there and we got halfway into the lap, and unfortunately something in our drivetrain decided to not work very well. We're in the middle of taking it apart right now to try and figure out what exactly is actually going wrong, whether it's inside the transmission or if it's a drive shaft related issue. We did bring up backup, however, our backup isn't as good as our, A transmission. But if we can get it back in there, we're definitely going to be, pulling in some sessions tomorrow just to see how good we can actually do.
For Will's team, it's go time. If they want to have any hope of beating Houghton's record and taking victory for the weekend, they'll need to get their transmission installed and working by tomorrow morning and have enough energy left to race. The increased track temperatures today have kept times from getting much faster, and the standings look equal heading into Sunday.
Tomorrow morning will be the session.
We're going to try to go faster still.
We're not going to give up. It's just a matter of, having to change the game plan a little right now.
Sunday morning has arrived. Competitors work busily to prepare their cars for what could be the last fast session of the weekend. Brian Fessler, who dominated at Mid-Ohio, has faced difficulties all weekend as he's worked to dial his car to the track. He currently sits in 5th place overall and 2nd in Unlimited rear-wheel drive behind Robert Thorne. Thorne, who's been chasing Andy Smedegaard and his Evo since yesterday morning, looks to improve in the cool morning temperatures.
Hey, I'm Robert Thorne, here at GRIDLIFE running my S2000 and running in the Unlimited rear-wheel drive class. We got a nice cool morning. It's Sunday morning. This is probably going to be the last fast session. Car's been pretty strong this weekend. It's the first really shakedown event for it since it's been rebuilt over the winter, and we're creeping up the power. So we'll have another 100 horsepower this morning than we did yesterday morning. We're sitting on a 29.1. My close competitor is Andy in the RS Evo, and we're close. It's going to be close. I'm hoping I can nudge in front of him, but I know he saved his tires a little more yesterday, so he might have some more time to throw on top of his good lap from yesterday. So hopefully if we can find a second or anything in the 28s, I'll be real happy for the weekend.
In the track mod class, Chris Boersma is looking to make up ground that he lost to his rival Tony Fuentes yesterday afternoon. He'll need to beat Fuentes' time from yesterday to reclaim first in track mod. But all eyes are on Will All-Young and his team, who seem to have been successful at their late-night surgery. They'll still face a big disadvantage, though, having to use a nearly stock 5-speed transmission rather than his race-bred Quaife sequential box.
I'm not sure where Will's at. I know they worked all night trying to get it back together after their transmission failure, and there's other fast cars here too. Brian made some more changes. Andy Smedegard was very close yesterday, and he really knows this track well. He's going to be pushing hard. The Big Bad Wolf S2000, he was in the 29 yesterday. There's a lot of cars that can go really fast this morning, so we need to try to do everything we can to go a little bit faster if we're going to try and stay on top.
Unlimited class assembles on the grid. It's now or never for many of these drivers. Their best chance at more speed is now. The track goes hot. James Houghton, fastest all weekend, leads, seeking to better his 127.8 from yesterday. But close behind him is All-Young. He'll have to find close to a half a second of extra time if he wants to snatch the lead from Houghton. All-Young completes a 131.8 as he grows accustomed to the manual transmission. Houghton struggles as he puts down some of the slowest times of the weekend. If he won't improve on his times from yesterday, now is Will's chance to steal the lead. The track conditions are perfect. This is his chance. Lap 2 of Will's run begins perfectly. The first 3 corners are fast for the Civic. He's on the strongest lap of his weekend, but something's wrong.
Unfortunately, we did break something again, and looks like this time it might be an axle, so we're gonna go into our spares bucket. Hopefully we can fix this up and get back out there again. It's definitely been a long weekend, and it's getting longer every minute.
Will wasn't the only one with problems on the first heat of the day. While Saturday morning saw the entire field break their own records, no one has seen much improvement this morning. Smedegard, Thorne, and Fessler all hold their spots in 3rd, 4th, and 5th respectively. Tony Fuentes has found no more time on the track, but the bright spot is Chris Boersma in his Civic.
That was fantastic. I mean, we went 1.2 seconds faster than we have all weekend. Super happy with everything. I think we were one of the only cars that actually went faster that session. Whatever happened with the track, it seemed to agree with our car, and yeah, I'm super happy right now. We're overall first place for track mod this weekend.
With a comfortable spot in first place overall and a lap record for Gingerman under his belt, James Houghton hits the track in another front-wheel drive Honda. This one a bit slower than his own. He's trying out a Maxxis sponsored Spec Fit.
Spec Fit is basically pretty much stock fits, stock horsepower, bolt-on suspension, and time attack format.
We all own race cars, so when our race cars are down, we bring our daily drivers, and they're super cheap to maintain. They're super fun, super slow. It's just a hoot to drive them. It's just all about smiles for miles, pretty much.
The thing is so fucking cool. Like, I went out with Adam, and we went out in 2 cars that are very similar. We went out nose to tail, and we came in after like 10 laps that we were almost still nose to tail after that long. All the cars, even though they each have their own little kind of intricacies that makes them different, they all seem to be about the same, and it just makes them so much fun. I had like a hoot.
The racing continues as the day wears on, but with temperatures again rising, faster times are harder to come by. Will All-Young Civic will be out for the last round of competition, and the remaining Unlimited Class competitors are unable to touch Houghton's time from Saturday. The weekend is his.
I think we got FTD for the event, front-wheel drive record, so pretty excited about that. The car is fast, it's handling amazing, all that setup stuff is fine. If we can just work out the little issues, like the little reliability things, we'll be in a really good shape.
Came second in unlimited front-wheel drive this weekend. Just over 4/10 off what would now be the lap record here. You know, we're actually really ecstatic with the result. It's a pretty big achievement.
Andrew Mishra, intent on catching Graham Gaylord and taking first overall for Street Mod, will have to settle for first in Street Mod rear-wheel drive after issues with his supercharger. Matt DeRuse will settle for third behind Andrew and his fellow M3 driver, Brad Yonkers. Unable to keep lapping after Friday, Eric Naumann lands in fifth, just as he'd expected.
The great thing about Time Attack is, you don't need a fancy race car, tons of thousands of dollars in it. I daily drive my car and come out here on weekends and just have fun with it. Grid life's always a rewarding experience. I mean, just getting out on track and learning your car, I mean, win or lose, I mean, it's just a whole lot of fun.
GRIDLIFE MidWest was a weekend of broken records and broken cars. Each competitor had lessons to learn. Some will leave Gingerman with awards, others with repairs to make. But for everyone here, the competition will go on. For some, that will be the World Time Attack in Australia. For others, GRIDLIFE Audubon for the next track battle of the GRIDLIFE season.